Welcome back to the air-conditionless and muggy War Room for your listening pleasure. Chris Fenton joins us. He's author of the upcoming book, Feeding the Dragon. He's a film producer, American businessman that was in business with companies that were controlled by the Chinese Communist Party. He knows how enjoyable it is to work with him. Chris, we're under time pressure here, but I want to get to you on this. What is it like for an American entrepreneur? And we're listened to, as you know, by many, many entrepreneurs. What was it like for you to work with these companies that are actually controlled by political entities?
Well, what's amazing is that information-wise, they all have the same party line. They're very unified propaganda-wise in the way they try to push what their objectives are. So if you look at the CCP and what their biggest objective is, it's keeping 1.4 billion people just happy enough that they don't revolt. And part of that is giving them as much as they need and a little bit of what they want, and then also messaging to them that they have all that they need, right? So all the messaging that's done by the SOEs, the state-owned enterprises, or the various other entities that you're working with, all work in line with that type of narrative. You have to be doing something that they can pitch to the populace that's good for them and solidifies leadership.
Chris, I want to ask you, Jesse. I was on Jesse Waters a couple of weeks ago, and Jesse started off by going about how Hollywood is so dependent now upon the Chinese market for their films and Chinese capital, and you saw this, right? And that's a key part of information warfare. Remember, people would argue one of the ways we really defeated the Soviet Union was culturally. Levi's jeans, American movies, Rocky, all of that. Is Hollywood off the table right now as a part of the information warfare for freedom and democracy in the Judeo-Christian West? Is it really off as a chip because of the economics of the movie business today?
Well, I mean, the economics of the movie business are much like a lot of other industries. They're very dependent on China and the growth that China presents. Hollywood's a really interesting story because it can work two ways. One is it can work to help spread the soft power message across the Chinese borders if China puts too much pressure on Hollywood entities. But on the same token, if we get together as a nation and support all the companies in a correct way, in the way they approach that market, Hollywood can be a very effective, if you want to call it a weapon or just a tool for democracy, because we seep soft power influence through aspirational stories into that market, as long as we're not influenced by a CCP agenda. That's the key. We have to protect studios so that they aren't beholden to those type of very strict regulations.
Well, they're using soft power. I mean, one of the things we're going to be talking about in the weeks ahead and get you back on here is wolf diplomacy. I mean, they came out with a series of movies that show the Communist Party came out with these movies that show the Chinese as very aggressive in places like, I think, sub-Saharan Africa, helping the population against the evil foreign devils, right? I mean, they're using soft power. They've learned the lessons of America versus the Soviet Union. They understand that, as Andrew Breitbart said, culture is upriver from politics, and these guys get it, right? This is one of the reasons they decoupled from the West on the technology side. They're going to build their TikTok is going to be theirs, right? All these new technologies, Zoom is theirs, TikTok is theirs. I don't care the phony face they put on this. You know this from Alibaba. You had a little Jack Ma dancing around like Michael Jackson. He's just a front guy. Okay, the real guys really run it, and then they announce, oh, by the way, Jack Ma is a member of the Communist Party, been a member of the Communist Party for 40 years. I don't think that was in the prospectus when they first launched, right, that Jack Ma was a lifetime card member of the Chinese Communist Party. I believe he came up through the pioneers, the young pioneers. That's the automaton, the little Chinese boy they've got on TV over there, lighting me up every day, right? Which is the scary. I don't care about them lighting me up. What I'm afraid of, and you hear this every week on Descent into Hell, is that they've taken these kids and brainwashed them. I mean, they have brainwashed them that America is the evil empire and America's out to destroy them. So, Chris, thank you. One is the book out, Feeding the Dragon.
It comes out July 28th, but pre-orders are super important.
Okay, Chris Fenton, that's a new voice you're going to start hearing. Yes, sir, Mr. Raheem Kassam.
It's so important what you talk about in terms of TikTok and these things. I mean, think about
Zoom.
Think about the TikTok thing is particularly important because it's on your phone. It knows where you are all the time, right? TikTok probably has...
And it's got every kid in the world on it.
Exactly. TikTok probably has more of an idea of the spread of protesters right now in Minnesota than the police do. Because you just geolocate and you can actually know... Because all of these people, every single person my age and younger... has TikTok on their phones. Every single person we've seen in the National Health Service, as all these doctors and nurses have been doing all these TikTok videos while this pandemic's been going on, has everything on their phones, and TikTok is in every single one of them. When you install TikTok on your phone, you're installing CCP spyware. Okay?
Oh, no doubt.
Well, it's interesting. They're now talking about moving TikTok to Los Angeles with a more Western kind of board of directors. So we'll see what happens.
That's all putting lipstick on, a very ugly pig. This is like that guy, the front man for Zoom. They're always trying to get, so they can move it to LA all they want. They can move it to Kansas, right? It's still TikTok. It's still PLA. It's just like Huawei. These are all either Ministry of State Security, PLA, CCP. That remember, once they get your information, they got it.